Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this edition of United This Week. I am Ademola Adedoyin.
One day, we had a vision to improve the way people access their fuel products. Now, 1 in 5 cars drives on our fuel. But that was not enough. So we pioneered the provision of cleaner, safer fuel to local industries through the fastest growing gas supply network in sub-Saharan Africa. Still, that was not enough. So we invested in the acquisition of rigs for oil and gas exploration. We strive towards our future when we, a proudly Nigerian company, will offer the complete solution to Nigeria's energy needs. Owando, the future is here.
The issue of this week is the fuel supply situation in the country, the oil marketing and trading companies' frustration, and how to avoid another fuel crisis. But before then, we bring you the news of the week.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Azizat Soni. Welcome to the news of the week. Lagos State, LCCI, Owando, Banagas, others hold exhibition to promote LPG. The Lagos State government has launched its new clean energy program tagged EcoGas in collaboration with Owando Gas, Techno Gas, Chimons Gas, Light Gas, Banagas, and the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI. The scheme aims at ensuring a healthy and sustainable environment in Lagos State by encouraging residents to adopt the use of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, otherwise known as cooking gas. The event, which held at the Masha Open Field in Surulere yesterday, had in attendance 6 exhibitors to promote the use of LPG by showcasing various useful ways the product can be beneficiary to the consumer's pocket and also towards a healthy environment. Now the report.
We're working with the Lagos State Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Lagos State government. Let me say the Lagos State government has been the most forward-thinking in terms of efforts to ensure that the citizenry have access to cooking gas. As far as what is concerned, we've been working with the Chamber of Commerce and Industry and working with the state government not only to put this together, but to ensure that our products, LPG, is available. We have first-class cylinders and products for consumers, well priced, and also working with even the chiefs and royal fathers and all the stakeholders to educate the populace about the benefits of cooking gas for the domestic use.
That's all for the news of the week. Join us again next week. Thank you for watching. I am Azizat Sani.
By the end of August last year, the grumbling and quiet complaints had given way to actual protest. By then, many oil marketing and trading companies had discontinued the importation of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, in protest against the accumulated arrears owed by the Federal Ministry of Finance. At issue was some 100 billion naira, which the coordinating Minister of the Economy and Finance Minister, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, was yet to sign off on. Though a sum of 888 billion naira had been earmarked for fuel subsidy in that year's budget, Mr. President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, was to later request for an additional 161 billion naira, 3 weeks to the end of the year, which was given expedite approval by the National Assembly, bringing the total subsidy figure for 2012 to 1.042 trillion naira. Out of the 888 billion naira initially allocated, some 500 billion naira had been paid by August 2012 for the 2011 outstanding. The accumulated arrears due to the oil marketing and trading companies by then had risen to 179 billion naira. In the wake of the grumbling and complaints that was to follow, another 79 billion naira was paid to the marketers, leaving a balance of 100 billion naira. Disturbed by the delay from the Ministry of Finance and the increasing interest in borrowed funds from financial institutions, most marketers had by August ending either scale down on import or completely discontinue. Before long, another round of fuel crisis had started brewing. In parts of the country and Abuja, long queues at the gas stations resurfaced. It soon spread to Lagos, the nation's commercial nerve center. Initially, the official line was that the development was as a result of vandalization of the major supply channel, the pipelines at Arepo, Ogun State, and the killings of the officials of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, by the vandals. But it was not long before it became common knowledge that it was only NNPC and a few marketers that were importing products. For Nigeria, the largest crude oil producer in Africa, the 6th largest in OPEC and 12th in the world, another round of fuel crisis had come home to roost. To nip this in the bud, the finance minister, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who had earlier warned that she will not be stampeded into paying the marketers as she was embarking on forensic auditing of the marketers' claims, had to quickly make more payments. This development also led to the president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, requesting for an additional 161 billion naira appropriation from the National Assembly to enable government meet the marketers' request. Before long, normalcy returned and fuel flowed once again at gas stations and the long queues disappeared. That remains the situation until now. But the normalcy which the nation has witnessed over the months appears to be under threat once again. By last Thursday, the marketers' discomfort with another round of overdue payment from the Subsidy Support Fund had come into the open. Indeed, the marketers, who collectively import close to 70% of the nation's fuel requirements, are threatening to put a halt on importation of products if something was not done about their predicament soon. At issue again is another 100 billion naira outstanding for the first 2 quarters of 2013. While the marketers acknowledge that they have been paid twice this year, the payments were for the 2012 outstanding. For the 2 quarters of 2013, the Ministry of Finance is yet to pay a kobo, and the outstanding has now ballooned to 100 billion naira. The Executive Secretary, Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, MOMAN, Mr. Obafemi Olawore, confirmed the overdue outstanding. He described it as a throwback to last year's experience when government similarly delayed payments for 2 quarters and the marketers had to contend with huge loss owing to bank charges. Given the non-payment of this huge amount and the attendant rise in bank interest rates, the marketers are warning of an impending fuel crisis as they may stop importation in the weeks ahead if the Ministry of Finance fails to resolve the knotty issue. What has to be done? Downstream sector analysts are of the view that the Ministry of Finance will have to expedite action and promptly attend to the marketers' plight if the nation is to be saved the ugly spectacle of another fuel crisis. While they agree that the ministry must be thorough to ensure that no marketer shortchanges the nation, they nonetheless contend that the ministry's beat needs to be fast-tracked to ensure that marketers are not left with the short end of the stick, and by implication saving the nation from another debilitating impact of long queues at gas stations.
One day, we had a vision to improve the way people access their fuel products. Now, 1 in 5 cars drives on our fuel. But that was not enough. So we pioneered the provision of cleaner, safer fuel to local industries through the fastest growing gas supply network in sub-Saharan Africa. Still, that was not enough. So we invested in the acquisition of rigs for oil and gas exploration. Strive towards our future when we, a proudly Nigerian company, will offer the complete solution to Nigeria's energy needs. Owando, the future is here.
Only last week, oil marketing and trading companies complained loudly about arrears of about 100 billion naira being the amount due for payment for the fuel brought in by them between January and May this year. Although 970 billion naira was approved for fuel subsidy in the 2013 budget, 6 months into the year, not a kobo of the 2013 subsidy has been paid to marketers. The contention in the industry is that if the Ministry of Finance fails to move swiftly and meet its obligations, and if marketers discontinue importation, Nigerians may be plunged into another fuel crisis. In the studio tonight to look into the issue is the Executive Secretary, Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, MOMAN, Mr. Obafemi Olawore. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now, let us start by looking at the 2013 budget. A total of about 971 billion naira was allocated for fuel subsidy in this year's budget. Last year, by the time Mr. President went back to the National Assembly, a total of close to 1.042 trillion naira ended up being allocated for fuel subsidy. Do you say the 2013 figure will be adequate?
It's difficult to say yes or no. At the current rate of between 43 and 46 naira per litre subsidy, if we go like that, yes, it will be adequate. However, in the oil industry, we all know that spikes can take place anytime. And also what we should find out is that figure, is it for only 2013 or was it used also to pay part of 2012? If that is the case, then it might be slightly tight, especially if you look at the fact that kerosene, whether it is paid or not, NMPC continues to make claims for subsidy for that. So if you add all these, then one has to be very careful in saying whether it is adequate or inadequate.
So we should just keep our fingers crossed and see how it goes. Well, one thing that has become obvious is that from that figure, the federal government appears to have, because the marketers have admitted that they've been paid twice this year, part of their 2012 outstanding. So if they have been paid this year, they must have been paid from that budget.
Exactly. That's what we are saying. So if they have been paid from that figure, then it's difficult to say whether it's adequate or not.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. In the last 1 year and a half, the nation's daily consumption appears to be on the decline, going by the figures from PPPRA. For instance, by 2011, Nigeria was said to be consuming over 60 million liters per day. But as at now, the figure has come down to about 30 million liters, or 38 million liters per day. Will you say we got our figures right before now?
I wouldn't say the figure is declining. It only shows that we didn't get the right figure in the first instance. It is not declining. It's the same figure, and I believe that very soon, PPPRA, the way they are going, will be able to hit the right figure, which will be in the neighborhood of between 33 and 35 million liters a day for PMS.
Yeah. Okay. People, analysts and all that also attribute what we are witnessing today, I mean that we are approaching the right figure and all of that, to some of the initiatives put in place by PPPRA. How will you say the PPPRA initiative has helped in sanitizing the downstream sector of the oil industry?
My point has always been that it's the leadership that makes things happen. What is currently going on has been on paper for long. The current leadership has decided to do it the right way. And that is why we are seeing all these wonderful things that we are seeing. Let everybody play according to the rule. Because the rule has always been there. The rule tells you who and who should be qualified to import. That has been stated for long. But the current leadership is bold enough to apply the rule. And maybe they have the support of the higher ups to also do certain things. But I believe that at some point, the leadership must do things the right way.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Now, by Q3 last year, importers have started complaining about arrears that were long overdue for payment. And that lasted until we had actual fuel crisis, and then the government eventually made some payment and all that before some sanity returns. It is like we are going back to the same thing again now. If my figures are correct, the importers are saying that the Federal Ministry of Finance is owing them close to 100 billion naira today, that they've not been paid for the last 2 quarters of the year. Now, what do you think is the way out of this cycle of delayed payment, protest, the attendant fuel crisis, and then payment? What is the way out of this vicious cycle?
Earlier on, I said that we should all play according to the rule. All stakeholders sat together to agree on when subsidy should be paid, between when the product comes in and when you put your papers across to PPPRA. 45 days. Beyond 45 days, there's no excuse. So, and the decision was taken in collaboration with the Finance Ministry, the Debt Management Office, the Budget Office, all marketers, PPPRA, Central Bank, independent marketers, DAPMAN, everybody. We all sat down and agreed, and we all knew that it is doable. So if we keep to 45 days, then there won't be a problem. But we have not kept, like you rightly said, between January and now, this is the 6th month. Nobody has received any payment. Nobody has received any payment for importation this year. All what has been paid was last year. If somebody borrowed money, which is actually the case, and is paying both the principal and the interest at 20, 21, some pay 22, 23%, then it's unfair. Okay, the least we can do is to pay them promptly so that they can also execute their obligations with the banks.
Yeah, Mr. Lawori, let us look at the issue of subsidy, fuel subsidy, I mean. Now, our findings actually show that Nigerian government may have spent close to over 5 trillion naira in the last 80 years on subsidy. And people have wondered why such a huge amount of money should be expended on some consumables, whereas we have a huge demand for infrastructure, social needs such as education, health, and all that. But on the other hand, there are people who say that that is the only form of social security, social welfare that people enjoy, that the subsidy should remain. What is your position?
Anytime I hear that, I ask myself and those that have that position, is the common man really enjoying the subsidy? Who is enjoying it? It's not the common man.
Why?
The scam that took place in 2011, who enjoyed it? Was it the common man?
No, the wealthy ones.
Okay. Government should apply the subsidy on the social amenities you are thinking of. Subsidize agriculture. Even subsidize human capital development, like the Asian Tigers did. You look at what you need that will bring more development, rapid development to the country, instead of wasting it on subsidy. No one is enjoying the subsidy.
Let us go back to the contentious issue of accumulated arrears. Now, a number of oil marketers are either scaling down on importation or discontinuing, and the government does not appear to have had a response, at least not in the last couple of days, that this has come back into the opening. What do you think the government should do to avert another round of fuel crisis, long queues at gas stations, and what have you?
The unfortunate thing is that we allow history to repeat itself. It's avoidable. And the time to avoid it is now, not tomorrow. What is owed after PPPRA has processed, verified, issued necessary sovereign debt statements. If it gets to the ministry, they should issue the necessary sovereign debt notes. Yes, but to wait. I hope they don't have the belief that the importers are just collecting the money without interest from banks. You see, because it's killing. At 22%, 100 billion simply at the end of the year will be 22 billion. Last week, one of the marketers told me that he received a debit note for 300 million naira as interest. Only one marketer. And yet, the marketer is struggling to keep its staff on the payroll. Something that we can avoid by simply paying what is due them. If there are any questions, the questions must be asked. Any invoice that has any question mark, put it aside. Clear the ones, yes, clear the ones that have been processed. And the current PPPRA will only process the ones they believe are okay. So I don't think that there is any reason not to pay.
Okay, Mr. Lawuri, your association is a very powerful one and is very relevant to this matter. What is MOMAN doing to ensure that all of this is cleared so that sanity can return and people can get paid and do business? What is MOMAN doing?
Our style is engagement. We've been engaging those in authority. If it doesn't yield results, we don't have an option. But you will agree with me that between January and now is long enough for anybody to play the role assigned to it by the agreed guideline. We all sat down and agreed. So I don't think that we need to talk for too long. Everybody should play their role. It's a simple matter. My role is to bring in product. Your role is to check. Did the product come in right quality, right quantity? Fine. Then somebody's role is, okay, I pay you. That's all. If we go beyond this month, it might be difficult to bring in product from the private sector because we are already bleeding and we are bleeding. So whoever has that duty to pay us should please, in the name of everything that is good, pay us so that we can continue. Yes.
Okay.
Because the crisis is not only in stoppage of importation, it has an implication on labor. If you don't have money, you can't continue to keep your staff.
Have you been engaging government on this?
Yeah, sure.
What has been the reaction or the response of the government?
The response is that we have still not gotten paid. And we believe that if really they are playing according to the rule, we don't even need to meet them. But we are meeting them. Our chairman has met the top officials in the ministry, and so far, we are seeing what we are seeing. No payment. And we believe that it shouldn't be so. To avert any crisis, let them pay us.
Yeah, thanks so much. Finally, Nigerians are scared stiff about the prospect of another fuel crisis. What a message have you got for your members? We want to tell them, for instance, that they should exercise some more patience and wait for some weeks to allow government sort this out, or whatever. What do you have to tell your members?
No, the first message is to go to the ministry. Let them pay us. That's the first message. It's the simplest way to avoid any crisis. Let the Ministry of Finance pay whoever has claims that have been verified. That's the first one. Once it is done, we'll bring in the product. The only thing we do is to sell product. We don't have any other business. So let the government pay and let marketers have enough money, pay banks, take in some more money and bring in more product. The second message is that PPPRA should continue to stick to its regulatory function as they are doing. DPR should stick to its regulatory function as they are doing and be more active. Okay? Keep everybody on their toes. That is not regulation. It's just a framework to say you can operate within this particular framework. Okay? And everybody should obey the rule. And whoever flouts it should be called to answer to his crimes. That's all.
Okay, thanks so much, Mr. Olawure. We sincerely appreciate your taking our time to be with us today. And please do not hesitate to heed our invitation any other day soon, because we'll be on top of this story and we're going to get Nigerians, we're going to keep them abreast of development. We thank you so much for coming. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Limala. Yeah. I assure you I'll be here anytime you invite me.
One day, we had a vision to improve the way people access their fuel products. Now, 1 in 5 cars drives on our fuel. But that was not enough. So we pioneered the provision of cleaner, safer fuel to local industries through the fastest growing gas supply network in sub-Saharan Africa. Still, that was not enough. So we invested in the acquisition of rigs for oil and gas exploration. We strive towards our future when we, a proudly Nigerian company, will offer the complete solution to Nigeria's energy needs. Owando, the future is here.
Given the scenario in the downstream sector at the moment, the jury is out that the ball is effectively in the court of the Federal Ministry of Finance. While the campaign against shady deals and sharp practices in fuel importation business deserves commendation, foot dragging in payment to marketers whose performance has been verified and the product in question consumed does not augur well for the economy. Our take: the Ministry of Finance needs to tackle this urgently to avert another crisis. For comments and suggestions on this issue, please write to info@energythisweek.tv. For further information on this issue, please visit our website, energythisweek.tv. Till I come your way next week, I'm Ademola Adedoyin. Bye for now.